fragrances that should be illegal because they're so good. So there are a few fragrances that I've come across in recent times that I think are just phenomenal. So I'm going to mention them in this video. And as always, all the fragrances that I mentioned will be available in Amazon associate links down in the description below. Now, I'm going to start with my all-time favorite, like top 5 fragrance on my fragrance list. This is Oud Satin Mood. This is my favorite because of how it mixes oud with rose, specifically Turkish rose. Some people don't like oud, which I can understand because oud alone is kind of intense. It's very musky, very woodsy, you know, like I said, very much in your face. But when you blend it with a rose note, it is crazy good. Rose on its own as well, it's kind of sharp, it's a little bit sweet, you know, it's very crisp. Then you blend it with the warmth and the muskiness of the oud. They complement each other perfectly. There are some other notes besides the oud and the rose, of course, but those two mainly take the stage, center stage, and it is just one of the most elegant, attractive fragrances I've come across. It is a unisex fragrance. It's a little bit on the feminine leaning side, but I still say it's a pretty nicely balanced unisex option. You know, balancing that musky oud with the light sweetness of the rose. So the other thing that I really like about it is that it has really, really nice longevity. You know, since it's weighed down with some of those heavier notes. Longevity is probably minimum 7 hours for most people, which is always a bonus. You don't have to worry about reapplying it throughout the day. And just in general, I mean, this is one of the most elegant fragrances I've come across. It just smells rich. It just smells like this is something very unique, very special. So this is absolutely one of my, you know, kind of top favorites here. It's just, every time I smell it, I'm just like, ah, this is really the good stuff. Then, one that I've really recently discovered that I quite like and didn't even expect to like is from Kerosene Follow. So the unique thing about this is it is a coffee scent. And I have come across coffee scents before. I've reviewed one of them, I think it's from Montal Cafe something. That really didn't smell too much like coffee. I was a little bit disappointed. It had a rose note, which was stronger than the coffee. So, you know, didn't really deliver on that cafe sort of scent. This does exactly what it says it's going to do. It says it's a coffee fragrance. It smells like coffee. To me, I mean, the smell of freshly brewed coffee or like coffee beans ground up, that is a phenomenal scent. You also don't come across it too often in the fragrance industry. There are a few, not too many, and even fewer that actually smell like coffee. Some are a little bit strange smelling, some smell synthetic, you know. You could tell it's not really a coffee scent, or the coffee's just really weak and in the background. This smells like you just have a cup of coffee in front of you, just wafting up that fresh morning cup of joe. Plus, it has a little bit of sweetness to it, which I quite like. It balances it out, like you just added some vanilla creamer to the coffee. This is really, really nice, super cozy. It is definitely an autumn to winter scent because it is very toasty, very warm, cozy type of fragrance. And it's just really nice because I was expecting this to be a super sweet, maybe, you know, coffee fragrance with maybe a weak coffee note. But this is just a good, strong coffee fragrance. So if you know that you like the smell of coffee, this is a good option. Then, something completely different from this is equally as good, which is Instant Crush. So this, I also was not really expecting to like, mainly because it's kind of on the sweeter side. I'm not a huge fan of sweet fragrances. This has changed my mind. So I've said before, this is very, very similar to Baccarat Rouge 540. And I do like Baccarat Rouge 540, just not that much. Mainly because it's kind of sweet, smells like burnt sugar sort of stuff. This takes all the good stuff of Baccarat Rouge and throws out the bad stuff. It is smoother, better balanced, more sophisticated. It just smells like the better version of Baccarat Rouge. Most in particular that I like about it is that it really smooths out that sweet note. It is still pretty sweet, but it doesn't smell like that burnt sugar type of note. It's more of a smooth, kind of well-coated type of sweetness. Plus I would say it has more kind of texture, more character to it. Plus it's also not as crazy oversaturated as Baccarat Rouge on its own. So it has pretty much all the bonuses you could want from that type of fragrance. Now, another one that I really, really enjoy is this one, Red Tobacco from Montserrat. So, I love tobacco fragrances. This is one of my absolute favorite tobacco fragrances, mainly because it's a smoother type of tobacco. It's not like someone just coughing smoke in your face. It's very smooth, mysterious, cozy type of smoke note. Plus, it has a really nice vanilla note to kind of put it off center, so it's more balanced. It's kind of like a sweet smoky type of fragrance, which is more on the unique side, more on the rare side. That vanilla note really comes through, and it is unisex. It is pretty sweet to be worn by men, but I still think it's pretty well balanced for both men and women. Plus, the longevity is crazy. I would say minimum 8 hours, so you don't have to worry about reapplying it at all. And it's just, if you like tobacco, you like a little bit of sweetness mixed with that tobacco note, this is a really good option as well. It's just nice. It's smooth. Then, another one which I think is really, really nice if you like florals, which is Iris from Xerjoff. So, I've said before, I'll say it again, Iris is one of my favorite notes. I think it's just one of the best floral notes you could possibly put in a fragrance. Better than rose, better than jasmine, better than everything. Iris just has such a unique smell to it. It's smooth, it's natural, it's fresh and crisp, a little bit cold, a little bit sweet. It has everything you could want. This is obviously primarily Iris. It has it in the name. It has some other notes, but that Iris really steals the show. And as I said before, it's really fresh, it's light, it's cold. It's definitely a type of fragrance to wear if you want to smell super clean, but at the same time natural. Because some fragrances, they give you that clean scent, but they're a little too sharp and they smell a little bit synthetic. This is not synthetic at all. It smells like you're walking through a garden or something, or it's springtime, that cold freshness to it, while still maintaining some naturalness. Now, longevity, it's supposed to be a light fragrance, so longevity is not going to be super crazy, probably 4 to 5 hours, but just from the smell alone, it's absolutely worth it. It is really, really nice. But that is pretty much my list of fragrances that are so good they might be as well illegal. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.